Entrepreneurs aren't born, they are made through failures, breakthroughs, and relentless hustle. Welcome to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host Rohit Soni, airing across 185 countries, 26 plus TV networks, 100 plus podcast stations. This is where visionaries share their unfiltered journeys, strategies, and game changing insights. Your success story starts here. This is more than just a show, it's a movement. Watch, learn, and elevate. So, hello everyone, welcome back to the Empower Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host Rohit Soni, and today I have another special guest. And going into our season 4, episode 1, I would like to introduce the theme of our shows moving forward. It's not just about business, but it's also about life. It's also about transformation. It's also about inspiration. And it's also about taking you to a place that you understand who you truly are and then rising up to your greatest potential. So, in saying that, I want to introduce you to our guest today, Ernest Moss. And before, I ask him any questions, I want to have a quick introduction. He is a leadership trainer and performance coach focused on helping entrepreneurs, professionals, and young leaders develop the internal mindset for constant success. Through his leadership programs and trainings, he teaches the T.E.A.R formula, that is thoughts, emotions, action, which is reality. A framework that helps individuals take control of their thinking, emotional state, and behavior to produce better results in business and life. His work centers on the belief that long-term success comes from the disciplined thinking, emotional control, and strong leadership habits, not shortcuts or hacks. And in saying that, I'd like to introduce our guest for today. Ernest, how are you, my friend?
Oh man, I'm amazing. I'm blushing right now with that intro. I don't know how to follow up after that, but thank you so much, my brother, for allowing me to bless your audience and be a part of this wonderful movement that you got going on.
Absolutely, brother. And the one thing I always say is, as long as God wakes us up, we can do anything, right? So,
Amen to that.
so we keep doing the right thing. So, in saying that, Ernest, before we dive deeper into the question, let's talk about who you are, right? What you have done, how you started, obviously, like, because that's what inspires people. So, could you tell us and, date us back to, maybe quite a while ago when you started all this out and the reasoning behind it?
Oh, I don't want to take you back too far. I'm a little older, but I'll take you back when I really embraced the entire entrepreneurial role. I have a book out on Amazon called Corporate Convict. And while I was in corporate America, I felt as if I was a convict or in prisoner in corporate America. And I made a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. Shout out to my people in corporate America. And we made a lot of decisions and great moves, but it after you have so many trips and you buy so many things, it kind of burnt out for me, and I didn't feel as if I was living in my purpose. And some things happened in my life that really caused me to refocus and understand that it was more than just making a check. I really wanted to impact the lives of a lot of people, and my goal. But I wanted to impact the lives of a lot of people, and I wanted to start with the youth, and expand into the adults, et cetera. So I took that journey and took that leap, and I left corporate America, and went through quite a bit in the process of leaving corporate America because I was really spoiled with the salary that I had. And in the service industry, it doesn't always start that way. So, but I stayed focused, and now I'm very happy that I made that decision a few years later.
Awesome, brother. And in saying that, could you help us and take us through the tier formula? What is it about and how it's transforming entrepreneurs today?
Absolutely. I love this formula, and we can only raise it in this interview. It definitely goes a lot deeper and a lot more intel. But what I can do is give you the high level version of it. In my philosophy, the thought is the cause of it all. And we have over 90,000 thoughts that run through our mind every day. The thing is, we don't think about all the thoughts that we have. It's only when we have an emotional connection. So you can have random thoughts and you don't have an emotional connection. So you won't act upon it. It's just a random thought. But if you have an emotional connection to that thought, now the next step in the TEAR formula is you act after that emotion. And then you end up with results or a reality that you may or may not want. But it always starts with the thought.
Well, one of the key things that I've also explored in my own, journey is that without having the right mindset, without having the right emotions, uh, we can't do what we're doing, right? We can't keep going. So we got to fix that first before we go into, okay, I want to have a big goal and stuff like that. So we got to get our emotions right. We got to get our thoughts right. So I really like that you work on those three aspects because very few people do that. Because they, go right into, you know what, you have to create a goal. You have to do this, this, this. But if their heart set is not right, how can they improve, right? So how
Exactly.
do you think thoughts influence emotions and emotions influence actions according to you?
Here's the beauty of us as individuals. It's a beauty and a curse. By the age of 35, we're about 95% programmed to act, react, and have an emotional pattern, and even a thinking or a thought pattern at that point, based on experiences, upbringings, cultures, religion. A lot of different variables will control our thought process and our patterns. And then we wind up doing the same thing over and over and over, and we never realize, you know, I'm tired of being in the cyclical nature that we live in and just getting older, because that's what we do when we're in that corporate world, that rat race. We just fight, 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 and then we end up getting older. So the beauty of the human is that we can reprogram ourselves. And that's what we really focus on with the TEAR formula. It's not to say that, yeah, my thoughts have gotten me to the results that I have today. Absolutely. And now that we know, here's an example. There could be something that happened in your life 15, 20 years ago that was very traumatic and very painful. And we'll think about that and we'll have an emotional connection to it. And it may cause us to cry, have a horrible day, but we're going to act upon that. And then we're going to get results that we may not have. Now, the reason I bring that up is we went back to 15, 20 years ago and we caused that reaction within ourselves. Taking that same energy, what if we took that thought and forecast something great and had an emotional connection to it? How will we act and would our reality change? And the answer to that is absolutely.
And in saying that, Ernest, we have to run to a quick break. But when we come back, what we will discuss is the breakthrough, changing thinking, change results. So let's talk about that when we come back because you really don't want to, miss this part with Ernest. And we will also share with you some real life case studies that Ernest has helped and how he can help you too. So we'll see you right after this quick break.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. Fort Minor.
So, hello everyone, welcome back to the Empower Underground TV show, season 4, episode 1. And I've been having this amazing discussion with Ernest about thoughts, mindset of young entrepreneurs and how they can change the world. Because trust me when I tell you, we are all the future and we can shape the world in a way that we can impact a lot of people in a very good way if we do it right. In saying that, Ernest, before the break, we were talking about breakthroughs and thinking and thoughts and how it impacts results. Was there a moment in your life when you realized results come from thinking patterns?
Yeah, every day there's a realization of that. I feel it every day because, again, we have thinking and patterns that are happening that we are not aware of. And once you become aware of it, you think, wait a minute, why am I even thinking this way? Why did that trigger this thought? So awareness is huge when it comes to understanding what you're thinking about. The thing about the brain, and I love neuroscience, is that as you fire and wire the thoughts and the emotional connections to that, because your thoughts come from the brain, your emotions come from your body. And the way I break down emotion is literally energy and motion, because you can have 90,000 thoughts a day, but until your energy gets in motion and you become emotional, then nothing really happens. But once you get emotional, then you act. And I caught myself just responding to things and reacting to certain things a certain way. And I really became to study myself and wonder, why am I thinking this way? Have I been programmed to think and react this way? And does it benefit me? Because you get to a point where you ask, does thinking about someone that passed away 20 years ago every day, does that serve me today? And the answer is no. So there was a lot of breakthroughs with me, and there was always a keenness, awareness where I was always told that I was a different thinker, and I would look at the world from a different lens. And as I started studying more mindset and neuroscience and some of the greats, I started to realize that, we have so many patterns running on autopilot that we don't know about. And once we become aware of those, then we can reprogram the mind and put those tweaks in there to really allow the breakthroughs to come through, because we have everything that we need right here within us, but it's a matter of focus. Because and we're going to talk about this, I know, but with your show being Empowered Entrepreneur, I love that title. And I also teach a group of entrepreneurs, but as we know, becoming an entrepreneur, there's a lot of hustle and grind to that. There's a lot of staying late, coming in early, and a lot of different things as an entrepreneur. And then when you really take a step back, that's chasing. And what we can do when we study the mind and the body and understand that we magnetize what we want. There is a thing called the law of attraction that I believe in, and we can attract and magnetize the things that we desire without doing a lot of the work.
And
I always sit down with yeah.
no, I agree with you because I feel like that's the type of message the world needs to hear. And in your thinking, in your opinion, Ernest, what is the key thing that you see in terms of entrepreneurial thinking, in terms of these thinking patterns, right? Among teenagers, professionals, and executives, there's the same across all of them, but it's holding them back. What's that one thing that you feel is holding back? Maybe it's different for teenagers or professionals. If you can, enlighten us on that.
It all begins with BS. Not what you may think when you hear BS, but it's really the belief system. Do you believe that you are the creator that can create whatever you want? And a lot of people don't. They feel like they have to get degrees, they have to get titles, they have to chase certain things. And this is where the chase comes. But if you really take a step back and you realize that your nature, your deity nature, because we are walking deities and we were put here to create. Because if you look around the world at one time, most of this didn't exist. Someone created this world, these buildings, these structures, these devices. Someone created these from the greatest gift that we have, which is imagination. The issue with a lot of entrepreneurs and people in general is that we imagine doom and gloom. Why is that? Because the world sells and is attracted to doom and gloom. These are the things that go viral. But we often say, what about the entrepreneur and the hustle? And I can be there early, I can leave late, I'll work 3 jobs, and I'm going to keep doing that. And eventually they get old and they don't achieve their goals because they never truly believed that they were capable of creating that. We put things on such a pedestal in such a high place when it comes to power, when it comes to authority and being the CEO, et cetera. We put these things on a pedestal when everything is right here within us. And we are so dynamic as deities on this earth that we can literally think about something and see something that never existed and bring it to fruition.
Yeah, I agree with this because our thoughts leads to the next action that we're going to take. And saying that, before we run into another quick break on this, could you share with us one example where changing thinking changed someone's outcome in your, like journey?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm going to get personal with this one and pull it away from the entrepreneurial, because this was an alderman, a politician over here in the United States. And he was stuck. And one of his issues was with his marriage. And he's fire. He's strong, real witty with the tongue. And he knows his facts. He has his data. And he was handling his wife that way. And one day I told him, I said, the truth is overrated. People don't want to hear the facts. People don't want to hear the truth. Your wife doesn't want to hear the facts. It doesn't mean anything what the facts are. It's about how you make me feel. Whether you're right or wrong, if you make me feel bad, then it's going to end up in a bad relationship. So he took that advice and learned to stop keeping receipts and taking snaps at his wife to say, nope, this is fact, 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 and really embraced her feelings. And when he did that, their relationship just went completely in a 180. And she called me and thanked me just for that small tidbit of advice, because the entrepreneurs in my circle, we have personal lives also. So it's not just about the business deals. It's really about embracing the connections and the network that we have.
Well, maybe one advice can change your life. And in saying that, that's my message to the viewers going into a quick break. But when we come back, we'll talk about why hacks don't work anymore and how Ernest can help you, change your thoughts, patterns, and change your life as an entrepreneur. So on the flip side, we'll share with you how he works with his clients. So we'll see you right back.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. Fort Minor.
As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done-for-you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high impact marketing and scroll stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you.
So hello everyone, welcome back to the Empower Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host Rohit Soni with your guest for today, Ernest Moss. And I'm loving the show today. We're talking about a whole lot of new things that we haven't before. And in saying that, I want to go a bit off topic as well, Ernest. How do you help someone who is addicted? That's one, to distraction, who's addicted to stuff that's not going to help him as an entrepreneur, right? It could be just too much working all day. It could be their screen on phone. It could be something outside of what he does at work. So what do you think on that? And on top of that, how does your coaching help people?
Well, one of the greatest gifts that we have is focus. And a lot of people, it's a word we use all the time, but focus is so dynamic. And part of my not-for-profit is WTF, and this is a logo that was created by a 19-year-old. And the WTF is a slogan where winning takes focus. So let me give you an example real quick. where we can connect this. All of us have had vehicles, and we get that vehicle, and it doesn't matter what your make or model, color of vehicle that we get. When we get that vehicle, something happens, and all of a sudden, we start seeing this vehicle everywhere we go. The same color, the same make, the same model, and you're like, man, I didn't remember seeing all of these vehicles at one time. And so you wonder, did they just start popping up again? The same color, the same make, the same model. But what we learned in neuroscience is that there's a thing called RAS, that's RAS, reticular activation system. What that means is whatever you focus on will expand. So before you had that vehicle, you might have saw it and you might have thought about it, but when you got it, you started focusing on that vehicle. And then that vehicle started popping up at different stores and highways and different restaurants, and you're like, wow, there's so many of these vehicles. But your RAS, your reticular activation system, had kicked in with your brain and you started focusing on it, and it started to expand. And I said that to say this. When they get into my program, we focus on daily habits to make sure that you see the vision, that you see yourself winning every single day. There's different times of the day where it's even more effective than others, but the focus is what's so critical. And some entrepreneurs are focused on the hustle and the bustle, but it's not about how you're going to do it. It's about who's going to do it, and then who is you. So you have to focus on you, because it's not about the market. It's not about, as the great Jim Rohn once stated, money. A lack of money is never the problem. These things, it's not about not enough time in the day, as we often say. It's a matter of focus. And if you focus on anything long enough, you will achieve that. But you have to believe. And that's where it goes back to your BS. Do you truly believe that if you focus on winning, if you focus on being successful, if you focus on being healthy, will it expand itself with you? And I guarantee you it will. But it does require a lot of discipline, and it requires creating daily habits. And we set alarms in our phones for our daily habits, daily affirmations, daily visualization, daily meditation. Yes, there's some things we have to do every single day. But what I guarantee is if you do that and you show your discipline and really focus, then it won't be how you did it. You'll become the who done it.
Yes, and also one thing I like to add, let me come back on the stage, is that when we are going through adversity, the one thing that can help us is either a mission or a journey. But having a coach helps you with both of them right away. One, it will help you with the path that you're going to go to it, because the journey is hard. It's sometimes takes away a lot of heart of you. So it's always better to have someone who can listen and understand you, who can guide you, who can support you. But the bigger reason you should have a coach is because they have done it. So they know what it takes. So that experience is going to help you big time. So in saying that, I would like to, endorse Ernest's coaching in front of you, because I feel it can impact you. And obviously, there's no harm in having a quick call, right? So I'm going to drop his link below on how you can connect with him, all his social media, all the assets that he has created. So you can see his work, you can see his website, you can connect with him directly. And then obviously that conversation is going to help you. In saying that, Ernest, we have to run into another quick break, but when we come back, we'll have a special rapid fire round for you. So I'll see you after this quick break.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. Fort Minor.
So hello everyone, welcome back to the Empower Entrepreneur TV show. This is our guest Ernest, and we have talked a lot about coaching, mindset, within what it takes for entrepreneurs, what they're struggling with, how how the tier formula helps people, and a whole lot of new things that you like to learn more directly with Ernest. But in saying that, I have a quick rapid fire for Ernest. So let's start the rapid fire right away, Ernest, right? Before we go off here. What is the one thought that holds most entrepreneurs back, Ernest?
Most focus on the how and not the who. It's all about you. If you focus on you, everything else will be easy.
Good. What is the one habit every leader should build daily?
Gratitude. So many times we have so many wins and we just overlook and we don't take the time out to thank ourselves and be happy for what we've achieved. And the more we build that gratitude, the more our health will increase and life will just be better.
Yeah. What is the one mistake entrepreneurs make when chasing success?
The fact that they're chasing it instead of attracting it, you'll get burnt out. Think about it. When you chase a girl, she starts running. If you chase anything, it'll start running. Money, girls, whatever. So stop chasing and start attracting.
Yeah. What is the one thing you'll tell yourself like 20 years ago? Like a 20-year-old Ernest, what's the biggest advice you'll give him?
You are more than enough.
Yeah, because sometimes, we think a lot less of ourselves. And that goes, obviously, it shouldn't be an egoistic thing, but it should be something that he has the ultimate confidence. That person has it. So that type of thing. Great. What's the one sign your mindset needs upgrading? What is the one sign that, people should get, to see?
A lot of people say, I'm a good person, but bad things continuously happen to them. So keep in mind that if your life is not happening to you, it's happening because of you. So if things are not happening the way that you want them, check your receipts and adjust. Be prepared to pivot. Don't get stuck because you'll just get old and blame society, family, upbringing, etc. We got all the excuses in the world. But when you're ready, you'll know.
Yeah, be prepared for the uncertain, because uncertain is what entrepreneurship is all about. You're not going to get something that you're prepared
Yes.
for all the time. A cowboy may come in along the way, and then you might feel, oh, wow, I got to solve this out first, right? Just solve it out first if that counts, because that's how life is. It's not going to be this or this. It is always going to be this. So be ready for it. In saying that, one last rapid fire question, and I want to personally know, what's the one book you suggest to all entrepreneurs you should read today?
I'm not going to be selfish and say corporate convict, but one of the greatest books that I've ever read is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It was a great book, great book. And that started my company, What's the Formula? Because if anyone reads that book within the first few chapters, he speaks of a formula, but he never says what it is. And it had me frustrated. And I said, what's the formula? What's the formula? And I created the business, What's the Formula Mentoring Academy, my not-for-profit. But that is a great foundational book, and you should read it multiple times.
It's a good one, obviously. I read it by the legendary Napoleon Hill. Yep. So, honest, I love to have you on the show today, and I love the value that you have brought in this the last 35 minutes. And obviously, like, we'll put all the links for how the audience can connect you. But is there anything else you want to share with our audience? One last thing today?
Yeah, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, Rohit. This has been a pleasure. And anyone listening to this, please just know you are more than enough. Remember that you are more than enough. You don't need anything outside of you. It's all about focusing within. And that may seem selfish to some, but we take the fish and we take it to focus. So don't be selfish, be self-focused and realize that you can do anything that you choose to do. The world is your oyster.
Yep, exactly. And in saying that, honest, it's been a pleasure, my friend, to have you on the show today. And obviously, we'll do another show together, right? And we take a deeper dive into another topic. But it's been a pleasure. And for everyone who's watching the show today, don't forget to share with someone who might need to hear it. Obviously, the big thing in life is when you want to change, it starts from you, but you can always help someone else too. And that's what we're doing. We're all elevating each other to the next level. If I'm here, I want to make sure, and you're here, I want to make sure you come here with me. So that's how life is. And in saying that, it's been a pleasure, Ernest. And again, I'll see everyone next week at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, every Thursday. I'll see you next week, everyone. Bye.
Success isn't for the chosen few. It's for those who choose to show up, take action, and never back down. This is the Empower Entrepreneur, hosted by Rohit Soni, airing across 185 countries, 26 plus TV networks, and 100 plus podcast stations. You've heard the strategies, you've seen the mindset. Now it's time to execute. I'll see you next week, every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. Go, build, dominate. Until next time, stay empowered.